switch in order to get more information and more time and space to exchange information, get advice. And we have two parallel workshops. One is called Challenges in Working with Vulnerable Groups. And one is working with Patroš Kompetencija in companies, experiences by counselors from Bosnia and Herzegovina. And I'm really looking forward, because we also want to participate, looking forward to these two different groups. And then we have dinner at 7 o'clock. So this is the agenda for today. Amra, something to add?
No, actually I just wanted to present now our colleagues from Serbia in form of Vinka Žunić, and just to honor them, because you've heard from Amira that we started with the implementation of the Competencies Passport in Serbia on the 25th of July, I believe, 2017. So there is no year in between these two dates, today's date and July. In July 2017, we actually explained to the people in Serbia what Competencies Passport means. That was our first step. And 11 months later, we have something here called MAPS. And I believe Vinka will tell us what MAPS means and all the great accomplishments you've made in the last year. So Vinka, the floor is yours. Okay, but I have to tell your name as well then. Silent support.
Yes.
Our Biljana, also from the network MAPS. Biljana Simić-Pavlović.
Simić-Pavlović, or just Simić, or just Pavlović.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Please.
Here's my whisper if I forgot to say something. Okay, hello everybody. Thank you for having me here today. It's a great honor. My name is, as Amra said, Vinka Žunić from Know-How Center from Novi Sad. And I am the member of network of activists for Competencies Passport in Serbia. That is our network which we recently formed, actually in June, and I will speak about that later, but remember that June is our birthday for our network. In the next 15 to 12 minutes, I will explain you our experiences during this period, the usage of passport of competencies in Serbia, and how we deal with the different struggles and similar. What I should say is that after that, we will speak about experiences, and we can discuss about everything you heard on the final. Now just to figure out how this works. No, not like that. Okay. So let's start with the labor market situation in Serbia. As you can see, this is statistics from Republican Bureau of Statistics from the end of 2017 years. Number of citizens in Serbia in that moment was 7,004,272 people, and about 18% of them was older than 15 years. That means that they were able for work. As you can see, 46 of this number was employed people, and just approximately 15% of them was unemployed. This looks like good statistics, but I will explain you later that this is not true statistic for our country. And also on this graphic you can see that women are in worse position than men in both cases, employed and in means of employment and unemployment. And that is just the situation in our countries. I suppose that is the situation in your countries also, that women have worse position on labor market. That's like that. But what happened then? Recently, the Fiscal Council of Serbia claimed that the official data considering the employment growth in Serbia are not reliable. So it is not an easy task to conduct statistics, and especially for vulnerable groups. We actually can't find the number of vulnerable. We didn't know how many people live in Serbia who are vulnerable, and we don't know how many of them are employed or unemployed. So that's not a true statistic. It is important to say. Let's see who are vulnerable groups in Serbia. I hope that you see this. And again, I suppose that the situation is pretty similar in our countries when we speak about vulnerability. Vulnerability of certain group can be the result of the influence of the personal, economic, and/or social factors, and that is why this is so complex task, and why these people are in unfavorable position when we speak about labor market. Considering the labor market, the vulnerability is determined by socio-demographic characteristics of the certain categories, and according to the indicators of the labor market, those groups are below average compared to the overall population of the working age. This means that the people who belong to those categories can face additional difficulties when entering the labor markets, and also they might need to support to return to the labor markets. National employment strategy of the period 2011 to 2012 determines the sensitive categories at the labor market, and they should become the primary users of the active employment politics. Those categories comprise the following people. Roma people, we know how big Roma population is in Serbia. After that, this is not some hierarchical, this is just a situation like that. People without qualifications or education, people with disabilities, women, rural population, long-term unemployed people, elderly people from 50 to 46 years old, young people from 50 to 24 years old, single parents, the users of financial social assistance, the victims of human trafficking, and so on. That means almost every people in Serbia can be a vulnerable group, really. I said that, okay. Why we should include vulnerable groups? That might be question. Based both on ethic and economic reasons, we should insist on the integration of vulnerable groups, and the idea of economic growth and economic prosperity is closely connected to the idea of full employment, which implies the necessity to continuously increase the workforces. On the other hand, and what is more important, there are ethic reasons which are closely connected to the social justice and the idea that nobody should be excluded. Inclusiveness of the labor market means the participation of all the people who are able to work and be paid for their work, especially the members of the vulnerable categories. Participation of these categories will lower the risk of poverty and social exclusion. The problem of unemployment of these groups should be tackled responsibly, and in such a way they will be included at the labor market, and so the poverty risk will be lower, as well as the risk of exclusion and dependence on the social help. As I mentioned, education is logically connected to employment, education and qualification. So our labor market doesn't even recognize people who don't have any qualification, actually who didn't finish their primary school. That is, if they are unemployed, it's logically that they will be poor. Logically or not, but it looks like that's the linear trend. And if you are poor, it's a bigger chance that your family will be your children's and whole family will be lower educated and with lower qualifications. And that is some bad circle of reality that we should find a way to break. And that is actually something that we are dealing on the field every day, we who work with vulnerable groups. When we speak about poverty in Serbia, and I this morning said it to the taxi driver who drives me to the Belgrade, I said that I found this information that poverty and or social inclusion in 2015 affects about 3 million people in Serbia. That means in percents, 41% of Serbs were poor in 2015 years. And that is really, really high percent. I suppose that you realize that. So, let's face it, the poverty is nothing that just, okay. I think that I've done something wrong. Okay. Let's face it, I said that the poverty is not something that just affects Serbia, it affects the whole world. And different parts of the world finding their strategies to fight against poverty. And we have a European employment strategy with their integrated guidelines for the years of 2022. These integrated guidelines, and just to see, is member states said that member states should facilitate the integration of the people with special difficulties at the labor market by making their employment easier and by diminishing the discrimination because of they are discriminated. Considering the protection of vulnerable groups from discrimination during employment, the current legislative framework in Serbia is nearly similar as those in Europe, because we have some strategies and we have some laws that support the integration. And for example, during 2009 year, the law was passed considering the professional rehabilitation and employment of the people with disabilities, so that their employment can be facilitated and they can be equal with others at the labor market. Also, the general law against discrimination was passed, which protected the rights of all vulnerable groups, and you can read about that on the, I put the number of laws. And after this, we came to the story that Amra and Amira already explained, but I will say just more words, how the passport came in Serbia. Our organization saw in news feed some information that there is some Competencies Passport coming, and we was interested in what is that. And when we consider that I said earlier that we have that situation in labor markets, we found out our interests in that to learn and to take Competencies Passport as our instrument. So, as they already explained, Competencies Passport came to Serbia through project Municipal Services for Creation of Employment Opportunities for Vulnerable Groups, and is supported by German cooperation, Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development. I'm sorry because I don't know this name. Okay, great, BMZ, and is conducted by German GIZ. I'm sorry, I will use the short name. Within the program Open Regional Fund for Southeast Europe, Modernization of Municipal Services. How it was work for us? In first point, the whole program in Serbia started with the process of choosing representative NGOs, and our first contact, as well as whole process later, went through cooperation with people, precisely with experts from GIZ Bosnia, who lead us through whole process. We became the part of this story in the middle of 2017, like Amra said, and when we were chosen once, the project started through the programs of individual counseling for the representatives of the chosen non-governmental organizations from Serbia. I suppose that everybody came through this process. We was in the skin of counseled person, just to feel how it is to be counseled with passport competencies, and that was, I think, the love in first sight. That was the moment where we fall in love with the Competencies Passport. After we passed the process of counseling with Competencies Passport, we joined to the program for the education of future counselors for Competencies Passport, and this education was conducted in Serbia, actually in Vrdnik, place nearby Novi Sad, where the certificated counselors from Bosnia convey their knowledge in the field through presentations, workshops, practical work, and so on. The entire training was successfully finished by 17 candidates, male and females, from 8 non-governmental organizations from Serbia. These 8 non-governmental organizations are from around Serbia, from whole Serbia. For example, in Vojvodina, there is Novi Sad, Belgrade in central Serbia, Kruševac, Kragujevac, Novi Pazar, I'm sorry if I, Kraljevo, thank you, and 8 different, Čačak, yes, Čačak, 8 different towns from whole Serbia. And that, what we have in that days was something really special. The energy that we created, the enthusiasm that we have, we thought that we can do anything, and we didn't stop there. Even after our education, we continued to work on some other, and now you will see on what. We continue, oh, I forgot to show you, yes. This is us, this is the photo from our training. And we were just happy and enthusiastic. You can see that on our faces. And after that, when the whole process of education was finished, we started to work on process of adaptation of the competencies map to Serbian language standards. And also, we got idea during education to already start with the forming of our new organization, to find a way to networking, all of us to be linked, and to create some organization that, under we will work. I hope that you understand this. Okay. Okay. And that was other part of this process. We worked on creating strategic plan for implementation of Competencies Passport from year 2018 to year 2012. This was hard process on so many levels, because our whole communication went through email correspondence, and there was so many ideas and so many proposals, and it was hard to find a way to put it all together and put it all in just one document. But we finished. We do it successfully, and now we have our strategic plan for implementation. Also, we later struggled with action plan, because we always think that we need more time to get in touch with beneficiaries, to feel their pulse, to see how it will work on the field, and so on. So we developed action plan for 2018 year in June, and we are also proud of that document, because in that document there is specifically detailed what we should do, what is the result of our job, what is indicators, what budget we need, and we know what we can expect from our local communities, from governmental and from similar, and from others. Meanwhile, in all that process, we came to the certification of counselors for CP, and I know that there is people who are just in the process of education. So I will say that was really hard to pass this test. I'm joking. It wasn't hard. It was actually really pleasant experience. We had a task to write an essay, and after that we passed through oral exam, where we should explain what we write in that essay. Yes, and I can say that actually that was really pleasant experience. Don't be afraid of that. And finally, after all of that, we got, you see, our results is 17 finally certificated counselors for Competencies Passport from 8 towns in Serbia. And we got Serbian CP Competencies Passport map that actually, for our conditions adopted, and the strategic plan for implementation of Competencies Passport in Serbia. All of that was our achievements, but that's not all. You should see our photos again. This is we, but better versions of us, because we have our license for certification, and you can see that our smiles are bigger now.
You really like taking
Yes. Yes. Okay. This is from the event after we get yes certifications. This was ceremonial alignment for certificates, and the next logical step was to find a way how to connect everybody of us and how to become organization. We must to think about legal options, about so many different things. We need law experts and similar. So at the end we did that also, and we founded an assembly of network of activists for passport competencies in Serbia. In our language, acronym is MAPS, that is Mreža aktivista za pasoš kompetencija Serbia. And we are proud, and I said that 1st and 2nd June is our birthday. Maybe we can make some fun on that day, some birthday party. And that was a short about what we did until now. That was short, but in general. That's not also what we done. During all this process, we continuously worked on promotion of Competencies Passport in local communities, and that was on so many levels. That means that we organize info sessions for our beneficiaries in first place. We find a way to interest them to came in process. Then we organize the same sessions for local stakeholders, for government, local government, national government. We went through medias to present the instrument and to show the people how this instrument is powerful. And I can say that I think that we did it, that we make it possible, and Passport of Competencies now in Serbia is recognized as an instrument which can make the differences on the labor market, which can help people to find strength and to find a job. Also, that was not all. We made to make cooperation, actually agreement with National Employment Services, and the National Employment Services will send us their users who are long-term unemployed and who belongs to vulnerable groups on counseling. So we will get support from that side also. And also, really important thing is that we managed to link different GIZ projects. So we made one holistic approach to the beneficiaries, because we managed to put this GIS project that I'm talking about Passport of Competencies, to the GIS YEP project. And now when our beneficiary is going through process of counseling, they might set some of their wish that GIS project can help about that. For example, we had one good story with the Bayram, our beneficiary. Bayram is one man who was a plumber in her earlier career, and he, during the process of counseling, Bayram said that he would like to get some tools for plumbers, okay? Yes, plumbing tools to start her own business. And thanking to his YEP project and whole GIS, we managed to link Bayram's needs with that project, and Bayram probably will get that what he needs to start his project. And Bayram is the man from vulnerable group, and that is also important. Our mission through the whole this process, and what is on our mind, is to contribution to increase employability by respecting the principles of inclusion and equal opportunities for all. This is our mission from our strategic plan, and we think about this idea through whole process, through everything we work, and because of that, I think that we will be successful. And that, yeah, we are all already successful. Yes. Okay. Just to check if I forgot to say something. Okay. That was a short story about what we did until now. This is not the end, and in the future we have a responsible task to work more and more on different tasks of implementation. For example, our other plans is, and it is hurry, plan to make a visual identity, our website, account on social networks and so on, then to get a program for database of Competencies Passport of counselors and users that we should get from our donors. And also a promotion of instrument is something on which we should work all time in all cases. And first, I put the first goal on the beginning, counseling without beneficiaries. That is our obligation to GIS. We need to conduct 425 Competencies Passport certifications in total until middle of 2019 year. And that is our huge task on which we work. For now, we get to about 50 users. Maybe more, yeah. 2 days left, maybe now there is 100. Maybe there is 100 of them. And there is some difficulties while working with vulnerable groups with Passport of Competencies. For example, I will show you this photo. I tried to hide identity of these persons, but this is Lola. Lola. Yes, Lola is our counselor, and she is working in the field with she's user. This is young woman, young Roma woman, and if you can see, this is in conditions of their homes. We realize that we can't expect that our users will come in our offices in the town and that they will be able to come for so many different reasons. They have so many obligations during the day. They don't know how to use public transport. They don't know how to find us. They don't have internet to Google Maps and similar. So we need to go in their homes and work with them. Also, why this is problematic is because we can't make atmosphere of confidence and of quiet peace atmosphere, because there is so many children who naturally make some noise, there is husbands, other relatives, and our users are usually ashamed to speak about their experiences, their competencies in front of their husbands or relatives, and that is one of problem. Also, the motivation is something that we are struggling with in the past period. It seems like that it's hard to explain that this psychological benefit is enough for them. They think, I can imagine that in the way of how psychology thinking. First, you have a Maslow hierarchy of needs, and in first place food is a rooftop and similar, and after that is self-actualization. We need to force more the story that this is also could be really useful for them. That is what we are struggling with that now. Yeah, that is really challenging for us. We have recognized the need of simplifying the procedures and process of working with passport competencies because of delicate and specific nature of our beneficiaries. I said that because the whole process takes a long time. 4 times to see with some really busy Roma woman in informal settlement is something that is really hard to finish. And if she's illiteracy, or if she don't know how to write, it can take more than 2 hours to fix, to be finished. And because of that, we have the situation where our users give up from the process. That's it from me. I hope that you enjoyed and that you heard something new and something interesting. If you have any question, don't hesitate to ask me.
Are there any questions?
Some remarks. First of all, I think I'm really thrilled with the work you presented. And I really admire you for all the steps you did in a very short time. Just became counselors in February, and then set up already a network, did already networking, promoted the instrument, worked with very difficult groups, vulnerable groups. We also have counselors in Germany who work with Roma, and they tell the same, they have the same obstacles to face. But I really think I'm really very, motivated to bring those stories also back to our German counselors, because I think it's really worthwhile to keep this work up, even although it's difficult.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really difficult.
Okay. We will be glad to share our stories with you later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also,
I'm sorry, we're working on conducting all our stories, good stories, bad stories, and we expect that it will see the light of day one day when we conduct all stories. We think that
on our website will be created very soon, we hope.
That's good to know. Also, what I think what you did is to simplify this procedure. I know we have standards, and I know we have a kind of procedure for how conduct process competencia counseling, but sometimes to the benefit of the client, it's better to find a creative way in order that they benefit. And sometimes it's just, if you don't have so much time, then you have to shorten it and to be creative. And this is what I also like about your experiences and your examples you gave to us. And also, I think really, I wrote down, you have already a mission, you have already set up an organization,
Yes.
you have already future plans and strategic plans. I'm really, I have to say, I'm overwhelmed.
Thank you. Thank you.
And tomorrow we will focus on also how to connect, you know, all these all these networks and how we can stay in a connection between Germans, skills, maps, and what else will be formed. Future organizations. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Thank you from my side, but questions from others. Yeah.
Yes, hi, I'm Labinot from Community Development Fund Pristina. Well, congratulations for your work so far. I would like to hear more if you have on, you know, you mentioned challenges with the motivation of beneficiaries. What have you learned, and have you got any ideas on how to improve that?
Yeah, we learned that, I will
I have another question, maybe after.
Yeah, we learned that we need to pick the beneficiaries better, to find a way to find the beneficiaries that we can say that this process, in this moment, will bring the benefit for them. That's not all beneficiaries. Maybe that's not beneficiaries who are not introspective enough. Maybe that's not beneficiaries who need to solve of some primary needs. If someone is hungry, if someone needs to go on the field to work whole this day, he can't give you 2 hours of his time, because that means that often means that his children can't eat that day if he sits with you and speak. So we need to find we need to target a good group. Passport is for all, but our system needs to do something first, and we can't deny that. Our system needs to take care about those people who are in the worst positions. Passport of competencies is potent instrument, but it's not God. It's not I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not solve all the problems that one people have. Let's face it.
And how about cooperation with like local institutions?
Yeah.
Any challenges there that you can share?
Yeah, I just mentioned that. We have info sessions with those people, and that was not easy task, because we need to organize them to come, to invite them, and then to come to our sessions. But they were interested in this program, because we find a great way to explain them how it works. And should speak some.
Local governments are interested in
Yes,
this process.
Yes.
Mainly, and we will see in future steps what will they do in practice. They have some action plans where passport of competence can be involved, and they showed goodwill about that. So that's our task. That's our future steps. That's our future step and our future steps.
Yes.
We must in constant work with the local municipality. They're our reliable. We are stakeholders, yeah. Alliance, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. That's future plans to came in some local budgets, and similar is our idea that we are working now. But we found a specific way to explain them how it works. On our session in Novi Sad, I need to speak this funny story. We invite government, people from the government from the highest level, and then when they asked us how it works in our context, what you can say, our colleague Ivana Koprivica said, you know, in German, woman, when she wants to bake chicken for the lunch, she go to the market, buy a chicken, put it in the oven, put it on 200 degrees, and that's all. And in Serbia, in rural places, when you have to, prepare the chicken for lunch, you need to go in the backyard to find the chicken, to kill the chicken, then to remove feather from the chicken, then to move out, clean it, yes, to move out all inside organs, and then to put in the oven, and then to cook some boil or something. You understand? And there was like, oh, what did she just say? But this is overreacted story. But it is true, especially in our context. We really not work everything. And we think that is something that we should do, and we know to do. That's nothing special. But really, really, I know on my experience that the half thing that I wrote in Passport, I know that I did that, but did I really know to do that? What? Am I so good? Am I so special and similar? So that was really, really, really good experience, and the local governments reacted good on that story, believe me or not.
But we will see.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good luck.
I'm so glad that
Did we have questions?
No, I'm so glad that we have, all of us are picking very similar words. Am I too loud? Very similar words, simplifying procedure, working with the vulnerable groups. What are the challenges? How to struggle with the challenges? I will give you a mic, but first of all, I have to say something. We will have these parallel sessions today in the afternoon. You heard it from Brigitte, where I believe today Bane and Lola are going to represent your challenges in the work with the vulnerable groups so far, and maybe some solutions. So for all of those who are interested in it, there will be like 2 parallel sessions. You can hear that at 4:15 or at 5:15. You will not need to miss anything. Before I give the mic to Edison, I would like to ask you to just to say who are the members of the MAPS network, who are these organizations, because I'm eager to honor them all, and I would like you to give them a big applause after that.
Yeah, I will say, but now I will find in this document. I know every organization, but
that written down.
Yes, just to not remember anybody that wouldn't be nice. Okay. In this network of activists for Competencies Passport is included Know-How Center from Novi Sad, Laris from Čačak, Treehouse organization from Kruševac, Mali Prince from Belgrade, yes, SOS Children's Villages from Kraljevo, Association of Psychologists Novi Pazar, Do It Together from Kragujevac, and Inventiva Center from Belgrade. Yeah. Yes, it's a really honor to work with these people. I'm sorry because many of us are not here today because of their other jobs and circumstances, but I want to say that that period in Vrdnik, we became so connected and so friendly that it's not unusual that this story is going so good like it's going.
We are family.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, I want to congratulate first of all you for this great job, and my question for you is what are your feedbacks actually until now with Passport or Competencies in Serbia? And the second, what do you consider the next huge challenge for you in Serbia, or what did you accept for that?
Oh, what do you mean? Do you think from the users, beneficiaries, or from the local?
I mean, in the future, what do you consider that will be the next challenge for you to implement it?
425 passports for this.
You know your homework.
Yes, I must say that, but that is, I think, the really biggest challenge for us in this moment, because we planned everything. I think that we are good in planning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that we do everything we want. But no, that is really the hardest part in the next period. And the other things, I think that we are going
to implement the passport of competence in a državnom nivou, on government level. Yeah.
Yes.
That is our goal.
It is, yeah, that is the main goal on the top of the mountain, but
beneficiaries and
yes.
these passports are more challenging.
Yes, because we have the time for that, and we will make some good strategy. And it's not just of us; it's about budget planning of government and similar. But this is something that's really our thing, and because of that, it's just the biggest challenge.
And the first part of the question was feedback from the beneficiaries. Pick good one, because after that we are going to lunch.
Okay.
Okay, not after that.
Okay, I explained one good feedback from beneficiaries when I speak about Bayram, who go through the process of counseling and decide to become privatni preduzetnik.
Yeah.
Yes. To start.
Entrepreneur. Yeah.
Yes. To start his own job, and that he will get opportunity to get that tools from the other organization, and to continue to work on their on his job. The other story you can tell about bakery.
Okay, I will say something in general. Feedbacks are positive. They are. Yeah, we have difficulties with motivation, as Vinka said, but we succeed. We succeed to motivate them, because that is our job. We have to talk with them, we have to listen to them, and they are satisfied with that. They are open to us, they believe in us, and that is motivating for both of us. So feedbacks are positive for us and for them.
And the best thing for us, for counselors, is when you see that the change in the face of the people with your work, that if she smile or if she had some bub light on his head, oh, what? Am I really that good? And that you grow as a man, as a counselor. And
it's not pathetic. It's really so.
Yes.
In the field.
When you see that you can change, can do something to improve the quality of somebody's life, that is really something. Maybe I'm a psychologist, and that's my profession. And I also need to say that I'm educated from different therapist modalities, and that passports, I can say that the passport is good for therapy. That's not psychotherapy, but the principles that are in passport is good for strengthening people.
As Brigitte said in her presentation.
Yes, yes. You're welcome.
Thank you for questions, dear colleagues.
Is it okay? Yes. Okay. So, yeah, congratulations from my side as well. My name is Siniša Đurić. I work as a GIZ colleague here in Belgrade in a program called Migration for Development. It is a global GIZ program working in 20 more countries in the world, also operating here in Serbia and working very closely with ORF, MMS on different initiatives. I don't have really a question, but I have a basic information to share with this group. I think it will be useful. Within our cooperation here with the government structures in Serbia, are preparing the catalog of services available for the returnees coming from the Western Europe back to Serbia. It is basically, it will be a catalog of different tools and services available for them so they can use. And we also included information of the passport of competencies in this very thick book that we are producing. So it will be the list of all of your names, and organizations will be placed also there. This will be shared pretty much worldwide, but particularly in Serbia and Germany as well. It will be translated in German. It will be shared also with the German counselors working with migrants, with in reintegration programs as well. counselors working preparing the returnees coming back to the countries of origin. So this information will be shared. So any of them will basically can pick up the phone or email and contact you. So I think this will be also a very good exposure for the Passport Competencies as a tool, yes, and also for your organizations. And we're really looking forward that our clients at the end are going to use these services. So I just wanted to share this information with you. Okay.
Thank you. I just want to say about that information that it will be good if the national institutions and other organizations could get that prospects or literature also, because if we expect that our users will find us in some catalog and call us and say, hello, my name is, I think that wouldn't...
Sorry, maybe I wasn't very clear. It is for the service providers, it's not for the, it's for the counselors.
Maybe I didn't hear that.
Different advisors, structures in Germany, it's also in the government structures.
Yeah, that's really
Red Cross,
great.
Caritas, different organizations here for the, so this is not for the beneficiaries. This is for the professionals working with the beneficiaries.
That's great, okay. Thank you, yes.
I'll stand up just so I don't turn my back to anyone. I'll keep it short. I know we're running a bit late for the lunch. I must say, before everything else, job well done.
Thank you.
I have to congratulate you. In my own personal name and in the name of my teammates and our Association for Competency Development Skills from Bosnia and Herzegovina. I believe that every one of us here and a couple of other colleagues have participated in bits and parts of your process, yes, and the journey so far. So on that side, I do feel like I am a part of this story as well.
Yes.
And now hearing it firsthand from you, and looking at all of the other colleagues, knowing there are more people, looking at the photos and hearing the story was just so inspiring and so informative at the same time. So thank you very much for sharing everything with us. And we really do hope that we stay in close connections. We continue to cooperate. Now, I do have questions, but I'm going to save them for the afternoon session. I know it's on working with vulnerable groups. Thank you, Amra, for announcing it. And I really hope to have a good conversation at the time as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the last words of this morning, Nicolina. I think we are all hungry and need some energy by having food, and we'll meet here back at, what did we...
Okay, I just want to say just one more thing. I'm sorry that we are really thankful to GIZ Bosnia team, because every of our enthusiasm came from Amra, from Dino, Domagoj, and other people who teach us during two weeks and show us that we can do that and to believe in ourselves.
And thank you, Zoran, from GIZ Belgrade.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay. 2:45, I think it's in the program, no? We will regroup here. Yeah?
Okay. Se ljubim. Super si bio.
Ti si vidio, hvala ti.